And it grew up to the host of heaven. So that is very interesting. That is verse 10 in Hebrew. It says, Vatigdal, so it grew, ad Tseba Hashamayim. It grew until the host of the heavens. Tsaba, Tsaba, which is the root of Tsabaot, Yahweh Sabaoth, Yahweh of hosts. That is interesting because one of the titles used for Halel in certain writings is Sabaoth. And it says here that the beast, the little horn, will grow all the way up to the host of heaven. So it could be taken in different ways. One, for instance, that his fame in the world will be such that it will grow all the way to the second heaven and the angels will know of him. Not only that, he will have contact with Sabaoth, Halel, and power from him. That's why we see in Revelation 13 that it is the dragon that gives power to the beast. So that's why he grows all the way up to the Tzaba of the Shamaim. We also see in scriptures that Yahweh gave up Israel to the host of the heavens because they were worshiping Kium, Saturn, and Moloch, Jupiter, and the rest of the host of heaven. So now we see that this beast, who, interestingly enough, many Jewish people will see as the Messiah, this beast will grow all the way up to those hosts of heaven which have been worshipped by the nations and Israel for a long time. So going back to the verse, and it grew up to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and some of the stars to the ground and trampled them. That is amazing. That is huge. Because it's saying that the beast will be able to make angels fall. He will be able to beat angels through his witchcraft, because he will be wise in witchcraft and other practices, through his cunning, through his many things that he will use to fool the people and attack the angels. He will fulfill what Nimrod tried to do. Nimrod wanted to have a war against the angels and beat them. That's what he was trying to do. But Yahweh stopped him by changing the languages. Now, through technology, people are becoming as one when it comes to their, to the fact that even though there are many languages, there are ways to communicate with each other. And through the programming that has been done by the enemy for years, using television as one of the main tools, a lot of people, most people in society, are pretty much asking for the New World Order, hoping for it, just waiting for it. The beast will be able to bring down some of the angels of heaven and win against some of the Malachim, just like Nimrod was trying to do. But now, this beast, who is pretty much represented by Nimrod, will fulfill that which Nimrod wanted to do. And that's why it could be theorized also that the beast will be a either reincarnation or clone of Nimrod. So, and it grew up to the host of heaven, and I say clone because they have found certain bodies, the body of Gilgamesh, whom some believe was Nimrod, others believe it was Hammurabi, but still, they would have the body in order to clone him if that was their idea of the best leader. So, he will be able to do what Nimrod wanted to do. Now, also, the fact that it's getting so spiritual shows that it has to do with the end times. And part of what I mean is that the two witnesses, at least one of them, because of what we read in Daniel 12, the last that witness like Moshe is pretty much Mikael in the flesh, the Malach. So the fact that he's able to kill the two witnesses as the two horns, and now it mentions that is able to cast down some of the host and some of the stars to the ground and trample them. We see in Revelation 11, when they kill the two witnesses, the way the scripture talks about it is kind of connected with this. It says, verse 2, but leave out the court which is outside the temple, and do not measure it, for it has been given to the Gentiles, and they will tread the set apart city underfoot for 42 months. Pretty much, they will trample the city for 42 months. Then, afterwards, we read in verse 8, well, verse 7, when they finish their testimony, the two witnesses, the beast, Abaddon, that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them. The fact that the beast, and here is not talking, even though there is a mix, and that is also understood by this verse. Well, the point is it can be interpreted in two ways, because it's talking about the beast. It doesn't say Abaddon, but it says the beast that ascends out of the Abaddon. So one can connect it with the fifth trumpet. However, it's talking about the beast of Revelation 13. So one could say that the soul or the body of him who will become the beast is somebody who is in Sheol, in a deep part in hell. Pretty much like I just mentioned, Nimrod being able to come again, for instance. So the beast that ascends out of the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome them, and kill them, like we just saw in Daniel. And their dead bodies will lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our sovereign was sacrificed. Then those from the peoples, tribes, tongues, and nations will see their dead bodies 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be put into graves. And those who dwell on the earth will rejoice over them, make merry, and send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented those who dwell on the earth. So, going back to Daniel, it says, and out of one of the, I already read that, and it grew up to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and some of the stars to the ground, and trampled them.